Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have a few more participants who need to log on and then we'll get started in about a minute. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and get started at 6 o'clock. Thanks everyone for joining us for as we celebrate Oktoberfest week with Viking Cruises. And thanks for joining us today. And let's go on and get started. Go to the next slide, please. Great, there you see our smiling faces. So my name is Marcia Forsee, and I work in the group department here at Magic Cruises and Tours. I also help individual clients. Normally you would be hearing Patty Cash hosting the presentation, but she couldn't be here today. So I'm stepping in to host our first Viking webinar. Just want to take a moment here and introduce our staff. As you can see, I am there, Marcia Forsee, third picture in there. Patty Cash is our owner and fearless leader. And then we also have Shelly Franks here with us today.
Hi, everybody.
There she is. So hopefully now you can put a name with a face or a voice on the phone. We have worked with Viking for many years, and we all have graduated from the Viking Academy, and we sent thousands of clients on wonderful trips. So we look forward to assisting you with your travel plans every step of the way. There's our office there on High Street in downtown Worthington. We've been there since 1988, so it's already 32 years. It's amazing, sending people on magical vacations. We like to make sure we have personalized customer service, and our focus has been on educating our clients on the popular destinations, what's hot, great opportunities. And today we're going to introduce you to and update you on the world of Viking River Cruises. There we go. There's an old picture of one of our presentations. As many of you know, we host presentations several times a year. And in the past, we've hosted some fun and informative client events where we all got together to share the information. Can you go to the next one? There we go. Look, they were having some fun, and everyone had some fun, maybe a little wine, maybe some tasty treats, maybe a little more wine. But we realized that we can't do that these days. And as some of these events, we've had lots of folks, and it wouldn't necessarily qualify as social distancing there. So we're dedicating this week to celebrating with you virtually, and we're glad you're with us. And we miss you all and look forward to when we can see you all soon. This is the first of our virtual presentations this week. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for some of our other presentations as well. Tonight, of course, we're talking about river cruising. Tomorrow, it's going to be Viking Ocean Cruises. And then on Wednesday, the Great Mississippi River Cruises. That's something new with Viking. And then on Thursday, Expedition Cruising. So we'll hope you'll be able to tune in. Just keep in mind, tonight's presentation's at 6, but the rest of the week, they're going to be at 5 o'clock. So if you haven't registered for those, you can go to our website at magiccruises.com/events and sign up for those there, or you can sign up from the email invitation that we sent. We are recording the presentations, so if you miss a part of it or have to leave early, or if you want to share it with a friend, we will send this to you tomorrow. So you'll have a recording and you can share that with friends or family, or just rewatch it yourselves. We do also, in the bottom of the screen, there's a Q&A function. So if you want to post any questions, we'll probably be, if we have time, we'll answer those at the end of the presentation. If we don't have time tonight, we can always answer you by email or give you a call. So hopefully we'll be able to get through all that. There we go. So We are happy to have with us someone we've known for years, and he's one of our best representatives in the travel industry and a Viking expert, Reiner Marks. He's our Director of Business Development with Viking Cruises, and thanks for hosting with us today, Reiner.
Thank you so much, Marcia. I really enjoy being here, and thank you so much for doing this with us. We don't like to be homebound. We don't like to be sitting in our offices. We just as much as all of you, we would like to be out there and travel and learn. And you know, it's not ideal, but it's the best we can do, right? I even put my Oktoberfest gear on for you.
Yeah, looks great.
Yes, and honestly, that picture was taken pre-COVID. You see, it's a good 20 pounds less than that, but a little bit to my persona. I have not always been in sales, so now I'm a sales director. My background is culinary. I used to be a chef, have done this for many years on many cruise lines before I find my final home at Viking. Even my wife is a Viking employee, a former Viking employee. So we are a Viking family, right? And we've been telling that so much that our kids now think they're true Vikings. So we had to clarify that with them. So anyway, that as for my persona, I want to tell you a little bit about river cruising today. This is really why we all came together here. And we're starting on some of the evergreen, some of the popular itineraries with Viking that have been for many years our, go-to cruises. I've done this one particular, the Rhine Getaway, for a number of years, and it is one of the most popular cruises that we have at Viking between Amsterdam and Basel, Switzerland, with so many. What I like about this particular sailing is it has so much, how do we say, bang for the buck, right? It's 4 countries. We're doing this in 8 days, so you will get a great, if you've never done river cruising, this is a great first exposure to river cruising, where you maybe do an extension before or after to get a better value out of your flight arrangements. But this is a fantastic value, 4 countries in 8 days. And what we're doing here, you see it on the map, between Amsterdam and Basel, Switzerland, right? We're going through 4 countries, which is the Netherlands, Germany. We're touching on France and Switzerland. And then you get to even do an extension in Lake Como if you choose to do so, which is in Italy. Make it 5 countries, right? You're already there. And along the way, so many wonderful sites that you're going to see, from the windmills, from Amsterdam, and all these fantastic sites that you come to see. And there's a reason why I put in that culinary slide, because I normally get carried away a little bit when I talk about the delights of the culinary world out there, the cheese tastings and the wine tastings. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. So Marcia, please reel me in if I get off track here, okay? But these are so interesting because they go from large metropolitan cities to small towns. You get to meet the people in the destination. You get to go out and interact. That is very different than a resort, for example, right? Where you're kind of stuck with fellow travelers. But here, we're taking you on the road. Oftentimes we do home visits, and the excursions, the daily shore excursions that we do, are led by local tour guides that know their city. They talk about their hometown, right? And they have these AudioVox devices. So you have a little receiver in your ear, and you can even tune them louder. You can kind of mute them a little bit if you're in a conversation. So they give you a live commentary on all these tours that we do. You probably heard some of the horror stories of the travel industry, where you sit in non-air conditioned motor coaches and the bathrooms are locked. So no worries. These are top of the line motor coaches, brand new Mercedes buses, and the bathrooms are functioning and they're open. So that being said, they're very comfortable. This is actually one of the pictures that the ladies from Magic Cruises sent me, one of their personal pictures as they did some of these cruises. Now, again, along the Rhine, one of the cities you will be very excited about is Cologne. Cologne has it all. It has shopping, it has culture, it has history. The German Roman Museum, excuse me, with 2,000 years of history on display. A chocolate museum, right? The Lindt chocolate. If you're a chocolate lover, I'm guilty as well. Well, this you'll find a very interesting excursion, and it's right in walking distance to the ship. By the way, many of the tours start as a walking tour right from the ship. This is really remarkable. So when you might have done ocean cruising in the past, where you sit hours long on the motor coach, getting to what you want to see. These tours are starting at the ship, and you're already there, right? You're in the heart of town. So this is a huge advantage of river cruising. as you glide down that Rhine River. And how many of you have seen those beautiful Viking commercials? I think when
Oh
we are
yeah.
Abby's fans, right? When the ship comes down the Rhine River, the Middle Rhine, um, you will see those castles, and that's exactly the spot where we're looking at the Marksburg Castle here near Koblenz in Germany, which is an 11th century castle. And I see a couple of raised hands. We're going to answer all of your questions later, so please put them in the question and answer box. We're gonna pull them up at the end when we're trying to answer as many as possible at the end. So Marksburg Castle, an optional tour where we take you on a motor coach up there and you get to tour this beautiful castle. And it's not Disney. This is the real deal, with thick walls, and it overlooks the Rhine Valley, the very valley where you have these amazing wines, the Rhine Rieslings and the Gewürztraminer and the Grauburgunder, those fantastic wines that you get to taste, right? How amazing is that? Not only look at them, you also get to taste them. And again, I'm just picking a couple of highlights on some of these itineraries that I would like to introduce to you today, such as Strasbourg. Strasbourg stands out for me as a chef very, very much as a highlight in terms of the culinary world. You're in the capital of the Alsace region, where some of the most amazing French wines are grown, right? The Albarignos, the Rieslings, and they do a fantastic job here with the preservation of these old cities. You can see Petit France here, where you can do a little canal cruise or just do some strolling in the old town. Is so charming, so romantic. One of the most romantic cities in France. If you have to pick one, that would certainly be one. And maybe even spend the afternoon here, take one of the later shuttles back to the ship, right, which is docked across the river on the German side in Breisach. And you take a later shuttle back and just do a tea time here in town, or have lunch, or spend a little more time on your own, just strolling and exploring on your own. Speaking of some of the local specialities, the Flammekuche is one of them. So if you are enjoying a glass of wine in one of those wine gardens, the Flammekuche goes so well with it. It's kind of a pizza style of a dish, and they bake it fresh, and it comes crispy, crunchy to your table. And it is this thin, crispy bread with some bacon bits on there and some sour cream and some cheese bits. Oh, it's just some chives on there. Fantastic. It's a great dish also to share. So the more the merrier. It is a wonderful way to experience the Rhine and the countries and the people along the way through the culinary world, right? Let me take you a little further. Where are we going? East to the Danube. And here on the Danube, and I kind of grouped it by popularity. The Danube, certainly one of the top ranking cruises that we have. The Danube, the 8 days. So the Rhine is 8 days, the Danube is 8 days, between Budapest and my hometown of Regensburg. So I am by default a Bavarian. For me, this is not custom. This is what I brought over with me. I'm not sure why, but I did. See, Oktoberfest, I knew it somewhere in the back of my head. That's why. So between Budapest and Regensburg, again, large metropolitan cities, small towns. You have Vienna, you have Budapest, you have the little towns of Krems, Passau and Regensburg and Melk and Dürnstein, as they all named. Really a beautiful, relaxing kind of a tour, where the Rhine is a little bit more bustling, a little bit more active, if you will, right? You can ride bicycle along the Danube and the Rhine, but here on the Danube, we do offer canoe rides, that you can canoe in the Danube, in the Viennese marshes. You can do bicycle rides as well. But if you want to take it a little bit slower, why not try the Roman bath culture here in Budapest, right? Go in one of those baths and let them pamper you, the traditional style. Make it a day, right? We have the slippers and the bathrobes, and we take it for the full experience, right? All of us, we're going to look very, very Viking official with the logo and the bathrobes, but it's a really beautiful experience. And I think there's 16 different baths in Budapest, because Budapest, the city, right, consisting of two cities, Buda and Pest, sits on quite a number of springs, hot springs, and these hot springs are being tamed, and they put bathhouses on there. So some of them are more action, those slides and all of this fun stuff. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that have the lazy river, and the ones that have the massage parlors, and where you really enjoy the excuse me, the quiet and maybe a nice treatment. By the way, Viking, when we talk about a Viking experience, we do talk about a grown-up kind of an experience, right? So folks actually have to be older than 18 years old to go on a Viking cruise. So that is just something I want to put out there. You will not have a college crowd out there. You will not have young children on the ship, which is great. There's vacations for that. It's just not going to be Viking. So, and it's always 2 people per cabin. Now, when you come back from that bath experience, maybe you have worked up a little bit of appetite. Try one of those those goulashes, these hearty stews with some of the amazing breads that are being offered. Whether you do it on board or somewhere in town, you will certainly have the time to do that, right? Also, as we sail out of Budapest, we get to one of the highlights, which is Vienna. And Vienna has so much to offer that we actually spending a little bit more time here, where we have an overnight and you get to see some of the castles, maybe even go on a concert experience at night, right? One of those classical concerts where we have a palais rented out, and it is a Viking exclusive kind of an experience. Mozart, Strauss, Brahms, Schubert, Chopin, all of those great European composers that you get to listen to, famous melodies. So even if you're not necessarily a opera lover, it's rather on the lighter end of the classical music. It's very entertaining. Schönbrunn Castle, we're looking at it here, a absolute gorgeous palais of the Empress. We do a Heurigen evening, which is an optional tour. That is kind of like to experience the hospitality here in Vienna, right? And again, panoramic Vienna always included. There's so many things to see, but I can't let you just walk off without giving you a couple of advice, at least what to do. So matter of fact, let me start. I have it in wrong order. Let me start with this one. The Viennese. Yes, Marcia, you've been there.
Yes.
The Viennese schnitzel. There is one restaurant that is not too far from the ship away, and that's called Fiegelmüller's. So when you go to Fiegelmüller's, you have this schnitzel, which by the way is larger than this plate. So this is a very humble looking kind of a schnitzel. Looks appetizing and nice, but the one that you get at Fiegelmüller is quite large, good enough to share, right? For 2 people with normal appetites, if you're not Bavarian, it's probably hard by yourself. So you have that schnitzel, enjoy a beautiful lunch here, and then do some walking in the town. You do some shopping, you enjoy a little bit of that, spend some money, and then have a little bit of tea time, right? The Viennese, they have made that, where in Vienna you have every cafe, every restaurant has 30, 40 different types of coffee creations. And then of course the desserts, the Sacher cake, the Linzer tort, the Viennese Apfelstrudel. There are so many wonderful cafes that still look to date as they look back in the 19th century. To mind comes Café Demel, Café Havelka, where I personally had the best Apfelstrudel ever. So Café Havelka, talk to Marcia and her team, the ladies of excuse me, Magic Cruises. They will point you in the right direction. They have all these pointers and they have done these cruises, so they know where to send you to. So as you sail further on the Danube, the rolling hills of the Wachau, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And this is a beautiful romantic stretch. You grab yourself a glass of wine, find yourself a chair on the sun deck for some scenic cruising here through the Wachau Valley, and listen to the explanations as you pass by little towns, as you see it here, Dürnstein Castle, before getting to my hometown of Regensburg. Again, this is an image that was taken by our friends at Magic Cruises. This is the Alte Wurstküche, the old sausage kitchen, the oldest restaurant in Germany, over 400 years in operation, believe it or not. And when you go in there, it feels like it's the same staff that opened the restaurant. So they're wearing these traditional costumes, and the cook, I swear she's, well in her 70s. I'm obviously kidding. But they're grilling these brats over charcoal, and they're tasty. They're not considered a meal. They're considered a snack. So, very, very small little brats. And you have 4, 6, or 8. Those are really the choices you have. And you take them outside there on the benches, and you're literally sitting at the shore of the Danube River and rubbing elbows with maybe an English tourist. Hopefully we get to tour ever again sometime soon, right? To share these kind of experiences, maybe with some Germans who take a lunch break. That's really the beauty of street food in the old world. That is really the equivalent of a how are they called, the the food trucks as we have them, right? The street food, that's the old world food trucks. Well, they're stationary. One cruise I want to bring to your attention, which is a longer cruise. This is a 15-day journey, which combines the Rhine, the Danube, and the Main River between Amsterdam and Budapest. Now, we talked about the Rhine. We had a little bit of chat about the Danube, but now you add all these beauties of the Main River. So this is really a cruise that combines the best of Europe, right? You're going from Budapest all the way to Amsterdam, and it goes in both directions. So sailings are open 21, 22. By the way, 2021 books up pretty quick. I'm being honest with you. Many bookings that we see are being geared already to 2022 because 21 is filling up rapidly. As you can imagine, many people canceled in 2020 and all of those moved over to 21. So get your booking on the books, call the ladies up. They got some amazing offers for you, as they will mention that towards the end. So the Main River that we talk about now, you're looking at small towns like Miltenberg, right? This is hey, slow down there. As charming as it gets, you know, picture book cheesy with these half-timbered houses, market squares, great for a little stroll, great for a little chat with some German folks wanted to practice their English, and maybe you practice your German, right? And everything in between. Würzburg, a large city, the great bishop's residence here, which was designed by Tiepolo. A little side story might be interesting for you. When the bishop actually looked for an artist to do the interior design, he had two artists who applied for the job, and one was Tiepolo, the second one was Michelangelo. He chose Tiepolo. Here's the thing, Tiepolo did a fantastic job. It's one of the world wonders, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but Michelangelo, I guess he didn't get the job. Now, another small town is Bamberg, and Bamberg is small enough to tour on foot, right? It's about a 45-minute tour that we do with you here in town. And if you have seen the Three Musketeers with Orlando Bloom, whenever Hollywood needs a medieval town to film, you know, Zorro and those kind of movies, they will come to Bamberg and pretty much take over the city, right? The inner city, because they have these medieval narrow alleyways. It's so charming. It looks like it did back in the 1700s. It's absolutely charming. You will ask yourself, is this real? It is, right? It's just well preserved. Now, Nuremberg is another town along the way. This is one of the highlights where you might, when you, for example, come towards the end of the year, some of these cruises turn into Christmas market tours and cruises, where Nuremberg would be a highlight along this cruise because it houses the largest Christmas market in the world. Not the oldest, but one of the largest. And later on, I have some images for you to go over that. But in extension, you would further sail down towards Vienna, but not before stopping in Passau. And if you are absolutely, in 100% for that, we are now offering it's a helicopter ride, and you have the option to do a helicopter ride from Passau all the way to Schloss Neuschwanstein. That is really a once in a lifetime kind of an experience. So you see not only the entire romantic road from above with all those castles, but you're also circling here around Neuschwanstein. I mean, the view is just absolutely spectacular. So just to give you an idea what is available, doesn't mean that all of them are helicopter rides, but many of them focus on the history, the culture, the music, and this one, of course, on the romantic road, the castles here. So these are optional tours that you can book ahead, but there is an included tour every single day available. And I was initially mentioning Nuremberg's Christmas market. That is an image of the Nuremberg Christmas market. As a rule of thumb, it's the 4 weekends, the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas Eve, right? Those 4 weekends are the markets that we have all over Europe, where you have the central market square decorated. That's where they set up for the Christmas markets. And many of our tours on the Rhine, on the Danube, in France, in Switzerland, turn into Christmas market tours. And that's really what you get to experience, right? My hometown of Regensburg, much more humble, smaller, more intimate market. But then again, sometimes it is the smaller markets that have a lot of charm and a lot of flair to offer, right? And the offerings on these are from gingerbreads to cookie varieties, to broths, and everything in between. Hot mulled wine that can be red or white, candied nuts, candied almonds. It's the smells that kind of go around where you can people watch how to make gingerbread in the storefronts, right? Those bakeries, they have their bakers make gingerbread on the inside, and you watch them do it on the outside. You warm up with a nice hot mulled wine, or 2 or 5, depending how you like it, which is kind of neat. You pay like 1 or 2 euros for the cup. And you can choose whether you return and get your 2 euros back, or you keep the little mug. It's a collector's item. Some of my friends, they have strict orders from their wives no longer to bring these mugs back home, because they already got 30 of them, but they still do. It's really neat little souvenir to bring back home. And like I said, they have them all over Europe. They have them in Nuremberg, in Germany, in Vienna, Austria, in Basel, Switzerland. And one of the most charming one is actually in France. And the offerings really focus on the different foods of the season. They're differently spiced. Really, really phenomenal. How do you say, arts and crafts that you can purchase there. Some of them customized, right, for you, to your liking, and they pack them nicely and neatly so they don't break on the long journey home. So here is the market that I was talking about in Strasbourg. And for this market, how we, for some reason, Nuremberg for folks here from America is the go-to market. For folks from Asia, and I'm talking about China and Japan, Strasbourg is the main go-to market, right? This is very, very charming. That is their ultimate idea of how Europe is supposed to look like. But it is almost picture book cheesy. It's really beautiful. How they decorate the city is wonderful, absolutely beautiful. I can only encourage you, if you think about a Christmas market tour, do the Rhine, do the Danube, do the Grand Euro, to do them all. Every town has them. Now, let me show you just for a couple of slides what the ships look like, contemporary. They're very modern. And the big difference to Viking ships is that they're very airy, right? You have plenty of room to spread out. You have these glass ceilings, ceiling to floor windows all around, which makes the ship very, very airy. You see the destination from anywhere on the ship, right? So here's the dining room. We believe in larger tables of 10, 8, or 6 to invite people to your table. To interact. We also bring the local cuisine, and especially during Oktoberfest time, we do these celebrations on board where we have the taste off, and we sample all across the region, from cheeses to wines to spirits to sausages and krauts and spätzle, the whole 9 yards. So this is a big celebration of food and life. We have also on board a beautiful lounge, the Viking Lounge, with an adjacent bar where you have live music at night and in the afternoon. But also one thing that kind of became a thing on Viking lately is the tea time, the high tea. So high tea is now being served on rivers, on oceans, because we noticed on oceans, we did such a fantastic job with our high teas that around 3:30, 4 o'clock, it's like people randomly get up and kind of head into one direction, because they know up on the Winter Garden, we're serving tea, high tea. And that's beautifully decorated etagères with little bites, tea time bites, with scones, macaroons, with Devonshire cream, and you can request to get your tea blended to order. So it's really wonderful. Classical music playing live there. So, and we were wondering what's going on. 4 o'clock. It's like the March of the Penguins, right? Everybody's
everybody
direction. Where are they going? It's got to be tea time. So we adapted that concept to our river ships, and it's been wonderful, right? So you have these gorgeous views out into the destination in a classic, beautiful setting. Talk about relaxation. You have many of spots on the ship where you can relax and unwind. Enjoy the free Wi-Fi, right? You bring your iPod, iPhone, anything, hook it up to the internet and do some emails. hopefully you don't have to work on board. That would be a pity. But maybe do some, some blogging, or tell
Share some
others
pictures
how
or
amazing that is, right?
yeah.
So, wonderful feature on our ships is also the outside dining, the Aquavit Lounge, which is an alternative dining. Keep in mind, you don't have to pay for anything that's going on the ships. Any dining venue you choose is absolutely included. So here we're doing now breakfast, lunch, dinners, in addition to the dining room, in addition to other venues on board. And the cabins are substantially nice on on the size wise. They're all outside cabins. There's no inside cabins. You have your standard cabins, 150 square feet. These are the only ones with a picture window, if you will, because they're on the standard deck. We call them the swan view. I personally like them because when you close those curtains the first couple nights, you're going to be jet lagged. I promise you. It's just what it is, right? How nice it is in the afternoon. You close those curtains, it's dark in there. So it's really easy to darken these rooms. Here on the French balcony staterooms, now you have a ceiling to floor window that you can slide open, and you can't step outside because it has a railing there, but you can definitely look around and have the beautiful nature there floating by. There is a veranda staterooms, and keep in mind what I said, no matter how large the cabin is, it's double occupancy only. So there's no connecting doors, there's no triples, those kind of things. We at Viking always cater to 2 people in a cabin. So the veranda suites, living room, bedroom, you have your French balcony, you have your veranda here, nice seating area, and plenty of storage space in your bathrooms as well. And then let me give you a little bit of a glimpse into our top of the line Explorer Suite. That is really, listen, this is bigger than my first apartment. This has a nice wraparound veranda around this cabin. Is absolutely stunning with 210-degree views. And there's only 2 to each ship, right? So you have, they're in the very back of the ship, but really beautiful. They have their personal private entrances. You pay a little more, you get a little more. So this is how this works, right? The Explorer Suite bathrooms, very large, very nicely laid out, plenty of space to spread out. And when you look at this window, yes, this is not a mirror, this is a window. Fear not, you only can look outside. It's mirrored from the outside, so nobody can see you as you...
I said, is that in the shower?
It's funny. It never fails. On the day when people come on board, you see the husband walk around the ship back to the Explorer Suite and does this, right? Just to make sure that the wife can see him, but he cannot see her. So just making sure. So, and that is really all I have. Marcia, if you want to go over some of the specials that we have for your clients, for your guests.
Sure. Great. Thanks, Reiner. That was a great peek into what the river cruises are like. So yes, we hopefully all the folks attending did receive an email from me. I sent out these flyers, so you have access to this information. But there are some wonderful offers that Viking has going on right now during the month of October. Great values, some specials for airfare on select dates, even up to free on some dates. There are other promotions where you might get a free silver spirits package, and that's for the cocktails on board that you might have. Past guests also have their discounts that they can take advantage of. So if you've traveled with Viking before, we would definitely ask for that past guest discount. You can also receive referral credits. So don't forget, if you've traveled with Viking and you want to introduce some new people to Viking, let us know that, or we'll tell Viking, and you could get some referral credits for your next trip. So if you are ready to plan, it's a great time to lock in some of these great offers. This in particular, these are available just till the end of the month. So like I said, if you're ready to plan, we'd be happy to help you and get this in there. And what's on the next slide, Reiner? Oh, yes. So Viking has put in place their risk-free guarantee. So right now for reservations that are booked by the end of the month, they automatically come with the risk-free guarantee. And basically they're offering some flexibility. So you can you can change your reservations with Viking if the need comes up to another date and travel in the future without change fees. So that's something to realize that they're offering and take advantage of when you make your reservations now. So we just want to make sure that everybody takes advantage of these offers if you're ready to plan. We know sometimes some things can change. Also, we do have some special offers from Magic Cruises. So make your reservations by the end of the month and you can get shipboard credit. So that's money that you can spend on board for shore excursions, drinks, things like that. And also $200 extra savings per cabin. So just something a little extra we want to be able to offer you on top of these promotions. So it's a great time to plan if you're ready.
Real quick on the shipboard credit, just to let everybody know, that shipboard credit can also be used ahead of time online for your purchases online. So if you have an optional shore tour that you want to book in advance, prepaid gratuities, some of those things, you can use those shipboard credits before you get on the ship.
Good point, Shell. Okay, there we go. There's some personal pictures as well. Those are Patty took those pictures of the Viking staff, and they are ready when things start to sail again. They'll be happy to receive all of the guests, and we hope that you'll be able to make some plans, think about the future. Reservations are open for 21, for 22, and in some cases for 23, depending on what itineraries you're looking at. So if you are ready to plan, now's a good time. So I'm going to take a look at these question and answers here to see what kind of questions folks have.
While Marcia's looking at that, I just have to say that's the cutest picture ever. That's kitty.
I like those, the cats. So Ray has a question about the Passion Play. So interested in September of 22 for a Passion Play cruise. Any information yet? So I know, do you want to answer this one, Reiner, or do you want me to answer this one?
I'll take that.
Okay.
Passion Play opened up last week, so please see your Magic Cruises ladies. They will be able to book you. We do have quite a number of tickets available. We have the cruise product available, so now is the time.
Now is the time, yes. Since it got changed from this year to 22, we have lots of folks who have already made their reservations because they were previously booked. So we'd be happy to help. There are a couple different itineraries that Viking has for the Passion Play at Ober-Ammergau. So we'd be happy to help you with that one. And then your other question was, do you have any special amenities? And during the month of October, we have the special amenities with the shipboard credit and the extra discount. So if you want to plan for a Passion Play, it would be a good time. I know there's limited space. There always is in a regular basis with Passion Play, but the fact that it got delayed, I think there'll be even more interest. So yeah, now's the time to make reservations for that. So I hope that answers your question. If anyone else has other questions, please feel free to email us at Magic Cruises, call your travel counselor. Either way, it's great. We're happy to help you make some plans. And like we said, if you are interested in learning about some of the other products that Viking Cruises has to offer, please go to our website at magiccruises.com/events and sign up for those.
Are we doing a drawing at the end of the week?
Yes.
We're doing it today.
We're gonna do a drawing today. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Do you want to pick from the names, Reiner, for our special giveaway?
Let's try this way. I hope everybody knows how to work the chat feature. You see this question and answer box down here. So my question is, and type the answer as fast as possible. The first answer that comes in will win this gift card. The question is, how much does Wi-Fi cost on board? How much?
Oh, there he is. Oh, good job, everybody.
I think we have a winner.
Yeah, it looks like great. We'll have to contact you separately to get you your gift card. That was great.
A Jeopardy question where it had to be in the form of a question. No.
We pretty much took whoever answered first.
I think it was on my end. It's showing Ray.
Yes, that's what it shows on my end too. So
exactly.
Ray's a winner, so that's great. We'll take care of you of a gift card to Hofbrauhaus. So hopefully soon you'll be able to take advantage of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
And the answer was free, in case we didn't say it.
Yes, the answer was free. The Wi-Fi is free on board. So, okay. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for participating. We hope you enjoyed listening, and we'll hope to see you again soon.
Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Give us a call. All right. Bye-bye.